on stage was a surreal experience, to be really honest.
Oh my goodness, it was incredible.
Someday I'll hope again, and there'll be beauty from pain.
Seeing it performed by such incredible dancers and actresses was so inspiring, and I was so emotional. I was so nervous and excited at the same time.
Pull Back the Curtain is a youth scriptwriting initiative that YAF created about 5 years ago with the help of the Miller Performing Arts funding. I think it's a really important programme for Hong Kong because it really enables Hong Kong youth to find their authentic voice through writing.
I thought the themes were really diverse. The 3 pieces that we ended up choosing, they all had a common theme, which was that the kind of depth of creativity that was involved in the writing.
If I don't make it home, I just wanted to call and say, I love you. You've been the best mother in the world.
So the inspiration behind my piece is this idea that human life is really short. I feel like I wanted to capture this understanding that you should appreciate the moments that you have with certain people because, you know, as soon as that moment is over, it's gone forever.
That man didn't even know who Jessica was, let alone have a reason to kill her.
The issue of gun violence that's addressed in the piece is something that's very relevant to our generation, especially with the events that are happening in the US right now.
Children older than me are taking action and taking initiative in finding a solution and ways to prevent such violence from happening.
I am sick and tired of swimming in this bulbous glass monstrosity, doing the same thing every single day.
My office got a new bowl of fish, and I felt really sorry for them because they had no space. And then I realized, actually, Hong Kong people also don't have any space. Their flats are so small. And then when I thought about the similarities between goldfish and humans, which sounds really crazy, I realized there were actually more. And then after I started writing about these 2 fish and how they were kind of like humans, and I continued to develop on that, it actually became a 30-minute play.
I think the way this piece of writing was written was very clever. There was a lot of juxtaposition used, so there were a lot of darker, hidden underlying meanings to it, but it was presented in a way that was very uplifting and lighthearted.
In the real world, we can sometimes get stuck in this routine that just happens over and over again, and we want to get out of it. And the thing that Bubbly had different to Maud was that Bubbly was so hopeful, and she was really trying to get out of the bowl and get out of this routine.
So life's not all about suffering. It's about hope. That's what keeps people going.
So freedom to me is about being able to make a choice. And part of being able to make a choice is about having the bravery to make certain choices that may be hard to make. And I think that in the fishbowl, Bubbly and Maud, the 2 fish, definitely, they do take a leap of faith. They are brave, and that is how they earn their freedom.
I remember someone likening actors to flowers. We have an inner fragility.
Mimi and I chose Healed to be the fully realised production because it's very emotive, it has a real poetry about it. I also particularly like a piece of theatre to be open to my interpretation and open to my creativity, because I think for me and for the performers that I choose to work with, I think the journey is really exciting and very important.
I'd say 2 of my biggest passions in life is psychology and focusing on emotions and the performing arts. So I sort of combine those 2 together and put that into one physical embodiment of a human being. And that's sort of what Katrina represents. She's really struggling with her own mental state, but she's also pursuing a career as an actress and in the performing arts.
Blasted with ecstasy, oh woe is me! To see what I've seen! See what I see!
Healed's about a performer, but more so about a person and how our lives can affect the things that we do. I think Eloise really wanted to make a point of the fact that everybody has problems and you don't need to have some kind of labeled diagnosis to be in need of support and in need of care or to feel sad.
When I initially read the script, there was this overwhelming feeling of tension and intensity within the words and within the atmosphere. So for a dancer, it's about bringing that out for the audience. So I try to think, oh, there is this emotional insecurity about her. What would this insecurity look like? What if this insecurity was towering over me? How would I react? So that's how I try to interpret these emotions and this character onto the stage.
Under the supervision of Claire Stearns, we did a number of activities to really develop confidence in the young writers.
I think the students that participate in this programme will find the skills that they learn very useful in their professional life, in their life as they go on to be adults. I mean, everybody needs to be confident, have confidence in their thoughts, in their ability to express themselves. So I think whether you end up going into the arts or whether you're a lawyer or whether you're a bus driver or a bank manager, I think these tools are going to set these young people in really good store for the rest of their lives.
I learnt so much through the 4 workshops with Claire and Mimi. And I also learnt about research and how if you're writing a historical play with historical context, understanding and being able to research into depth about the character and the people you're creating is so important.
This is something I've never done before. I've always been used to setting up a full production with costume and lighting and everything. So just doing a stage reading really helped me to discover the different tones of my voice that I can create.
I see the programme developing in many ways. I mean, I think it's great that people have gone on to do different things in the arts as a result of this programme. I think it gives people a confidence to try new things.
I first came across Pullback when I was fairly new to Hong Kong. The opportunity to join a programme and to have to explore script writing with other young people was fantastic. So I joined, and I was really lucky to have my piece chosen to be the fully realized piece. And then from that, the next year I was involved in performer capacity. And then this year I've gone on to direct 2 of the pieces and co-direct one of the pieces with Lindsay. So really, I'm really lucky to have kind of delved in all aspects of Pull Back the Curtain. And from that, I just know that it's such an important program to have in Hong Kong.
Going to this program the second time, I feel like I was able to learn a lot about myself as a writer. The first time I went through the program, I was one of the younger, more shy participants, and I feel like this time I was able to branch out a lot more. I was able to learn about my writing style, how I choose to write about darker topics, but bringing kind of a lighter comedic tone to it in order to allow the characters to really resonate and make a more memorable piece for the audience.
I think every year that we do the programme, I think we learn, I think we grow as facilitators and directors and creators, and so I think it's a great opportunity for the professionals and the youth of Hong Kong to actually grow together.
I try to keep warm, but I just grow colder. I feel like I'm slipping away. After all this has passed, I still